All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome on in, everyone. We are so excited that you could join us today. My name is Emily Sahumsky, and I'm the Director of Recruitment in the Office of Admissions at the University of Cincinnati. And like I said, super excited that you could join us to learn a little bit more about the College Conservatory of Music, or CCM as we call it for short. I have a few updates here at the top, and then we will go through this agenda here today. So after my updates, we will have introductions of those of or the group of us representing CCM today. Talk a little bit more about the CCM admissions process, hear from a current CCM student as well as a current CCM professor, and then also have some time for Q&A. And so I am going to start with a couple of overall announcements at the top. The first is that we will and are currently running a application fee waiver for undergraduate applicants. So any applicants applying to a bachelor's degree throughout the month of September will be able to apply for free. And so we do encourage students to get those applications in early, specifically over the next month when that application fee will be waived. That is an automatic fee waiver. There is no code that is needed for that. Additionally, this year, we do have a couple of changes to the Common Application. One of the larger ones is that we no longer require the Common Application personal statement essay. So students do not have to submit that as a part of their application process. There is a short answer question about why a student is specifically interested in their major at UC for undergraduate applications, but there is no Common App personal statement that is required as a part of the admissions application. And so without further ado, I am going to introduce both Candace and Caroline from the admissions office in CCM. You all can take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Caroline Sackley. I am the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admissions at CCM.
And Candace is here too. She might be having technical difficulties, but she's the Assistant Director of Graduate Admissions within CCM.
Okay, perfect. I'll just get us started. So this is just kind of a breakdown about CCM. We have students from over 40 different countries and 40 different states. We are a school that is career focused and experience based, meaning that when students are here, they start doing the work right away. Obviously, class time is like very important, but students will be getting lots of hands-on experience right from the beginning of their first semester here. These are from last year's statistics, but last year in total, we have a mix of graduate and undergraduate students. From fall 2023, we had 1,352, and that number was a little similar this past fall in fall of 2024. CCM is one of the smaller colleges on campus. It's typically a 10-to-1 faculty to student ratio. However, we like to tell that their time at CCM is a mix of conservatory style as well as you get the experience in a larger university. So for students who might be a little more nervous that this with so many, tens of thousands of people, students are more than welcome to kind of just stay confined to CCM, but students who are excited to explore and either curriculars or take on a minor or be a part of the Greek system. There's so many things that they can do to kind of make their time here a little more expansive feeling and really get a feel for all of UC as a whole, especially with sporting events, things like that. CCM puts on about 1,000 performances a year. This is in combination of we have faculty recitals, master classes, ensemble performances, student recitals, and this goes on all calendar year long. And then we are 2 miles north of downtown Cincinnati, which means our students are quite close to different sort of arts and culture that they can experience outside of school, where we have museums, we have the Cincinnati Symphony, the ballet, the opera. We have a lot of different like acting places as well. So there's a lot of things for students to kind of experience when they're at UC as well as outside of UC, and the fact that it's so close to downtown and so close to all these things, students can really get just such a well-rounded experience both inside and outside. The next PowerPoint, this is just kind of showing the different spaces that we have at CCM. So we have in the top left, Mary Emery Hall. That's kind of like our main hub. That's where a lot of students' oral skills classes, music history, music theory will be, as well as administrative offices. So our admissions office is on that main floor, as well as right next to it is the college office, which is will go to talk with their advisors. In the top right, we have Dieterle Vocal Arts Center. What this is this is a space at CCM for mainly vocal students and opera students. There are also a lot of voice and piano offices below in the basement in that space. In the bottom left, we have Corbett Center for the Performing. That is our largest performing arts venue at CCM. This sees just over 700 people, and most students who are involved either in the performing arts, meaning if they're a performance major with instruments, musical theater, opera, ballet, or behind the scenes with theater design and production, they will be working multiple times in this space. And then in the bottom right, we have Memorial Hall. That is our practice room facility, as well as it houses some of the instrumental faculty offices. Memorial Hall is only accessible for those who are part of CCM. So a good thing is because these practice rooms are first come, first serve, students are only able to access the building via card swipe. So because, the campus is so large and there's so many people, it's really nice to know that there's a space just for students to be able to come and practice. And that floor it's 5 floors of practice rooms. And then here we have some of our other performance spaces on campus. In the top left, we have Warner Recital Hall. This is more of an intimate feel. It seats less than 150. It has a nice mix of Texas shellstone. That's what you can see on the right-hand side of that to really help amplify the acoustics. This space also houses multiple different types of pianos, as well as a harpsichord for students to use. And then in the top right, we have Patricia Corbett Theater. This is our black box theater, where we have, oops, those are mixed. That's supposed to be the top, I'm so sorry. The top right is supposed to be Cohen Family Studio. That's our black box theater, meaning this space is very versatile, where students can kind of move the audience around. It can be above or below. That's our most flexible space that we have on campus. It's also used for a lot of composers when they give their recitals, or when composers want to give recitals with electronic music because of all of the surround stereos that are set up. The bottom left is Patricia Corbett Theater. That's more of like second largest performance space. That seats just under 400, more of a thrust stage. So the stage itself goes out quite far into the audience. And then the audience itself is on a incline. So it's an extremely intimate feel where you feel like you can get really close up to the performers, but still being quite a large space in itself. And then the bottom right is Watson. This is probably our smallest performance space on campus. It seats just around 75 people. This is more for individual solo recitals. This is also a great space for students to make recordings. This is a space that students can reserve with our performance management faculty in order to kind of reserve this space for a couple of hours a week. It's also great because it's in the basement, so you don't get a lot of sound bleed from outside activities, in case you wanted to make tapes for either audition, pre-screenings, summer festivals, etc. And then I'll just go through our undergraduate majors that we offer. We offer 3 types. So we offer a Bachelor of Fine Arts, a Bachelor of Music, and then a Bachelor of Arts. Each of these programs, so for the BFA, we have your standard acting, ballet, musical theater, theater design production, and media production. When students are applying specifically to the theater design and production, there are 6 types of concentrations. We ask that a student picks a concentration that they have the most experience in, especially when it comes into turning in their portfolio for the pre-screening round. If a student feels on the fence or they're not entirely quite sure which one, they can always reach out to us. We can connect them with the faculty, or they can go ahead and submit what they'd like. And sometimes what happens is in the interviews with faculty, there have been cases where a faculty member might say, hey, we think that your experience might be better suited for this concentration instead. And then we kind of work around changing that. And then you're admitted into the major that you feel like makes more sense with the correct concentration. For the Bachelor of Music, we have commercial music production, which we'll be talking about later today, composition, jazz studies, music education, and music performance. We also have all the double major, which is in music education and in music performance. This is a degree that's already set to start as a double major, where students will equally be focusing on the ed track as well as performance. And then we have a BA program. It's just general, it's music. And so that program itself offers a lot of flexibility for students to kind of pursue outside things within, like, not just CCM. We have a lot of students who choose to do the BA if they're interested in music, but they're not necessarily looking for one of these more specific tracks. Or if we have somebody who's interested in maybe pursuing something later on, like music therapy, um, music theory, music history, or somebody who wants to be a part of the arts, but maybe in a more entrepreneurship way. This BA music program has a lot of flexibility built into the curriculum. So we have a lot of students who will take this program and then double major in something outside of CCM. And that's the one program that we have that really offers that kind of large level of flexibility.
Welcome, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Candace Astor. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Admissions at CCM. For graduate programs, we have several degree programs and arts administration. So a student would apply for the arts admin program. And then once they're admitted into the program, they can apply for the Masters of Business Association through the Lindner College of Business. So ultimately, the student can earn 2 degrees in 2 years. We also have Masters in Fine Arts. This is our theater design and production area. Student can earn an MFA in 3 years under any of the areas listed. We're one of the few schools that still have a makeup and wig design program, and our application is open this year. We also offer a master's in music. This is also in composition and the 3 areas in conducting, which is choral, orchestral, and wind. We also offer just a master's in jazz studies, also music education, musicology, and theory also offer a master's and a PhD program. Recently, we added the pedagogy certificate program, which any of our music performance majors can include that and apply for that program. There isn't an audition for it. What the student would do is just complete an application to the university, and then they would submit the required materials for that program. The faculty would evaluate that and then make their decision. We also offer a doctoral of music arts degree in composition, conducting, and music performance. The PhD programs are in music theory and musicology. And then we also offer a 2-year degree program, artist diploma, which is a performance-based degree in brass opera. And opera includes vocal performance, opera coaching, and opera directing. We also offer a AD diploma in keyboard, and that can include piano performance, organ, and harpsichord. We also offer artist diploma in percussion, strings, and woodwinds. At CCM, we have plenty of organizations. We have the One Steel Drum Band. There's also the 4 drama productions, 4 choral ensembles, 2 full orchestras, and we have 3 graduate operas, 1 for undergrad. And then typically within a year, there's 4 musical theater performances, 4 dance productions, 2 jazz ensembles, and 2 wind ensembles. student experience at UC and CCM, we offer various organizations. So there's 500 clubs. One includes the Graduate Student Association. We also have the Undergraduate Tribunal through CCM. There's a Collegiate Music Educators Association, as well as an opera club. We offer UC courses, and there's also a UC ITT and CCM student chapter. We do have a CCM Talent for Hire office, which is managed by a graduate assistant. And what this organization does is they connect our current students with the community. So if someone's requesting a violinist for an event that they're hosting, they can hire the student for the job. There's also the Student Community Peer Support Group, and this is for undergraduates and graduate students. There's academic and faculty advisors who are there to assist students as well as career preparation.
Next, I just wanted to show you what the undergraduate English language score minimums are. Again, these are the minimums, so these are required especially when we get into the IELTS or TOEFL. It has to be in a combination of the 6.0 overall and the 5.0 for all subscores minimum, TOEFL a 66 overall, and a 15 for all subscores minimum. This can also, by the way, before Candace starts. Oh, I was just going to say that it can be found on our website too. So even though we're going through this quickly on the PowerPoint, you can easily find this on our CCM admissions website. Sorry, Candace, go ahead.
That's okay. For the graduate English language score minimums, if the student has a TOEFL total for 80 or higher, that's the general university requirement, and it's mostly for our music performance majors. And then each area sometimes has higher English language score requirements. So you'll kind of just want to make note, depending on what degree program the student is applying for. We offer the IELTS and Duolingo and then the Parsons.
So conditional admit is a question that we get all the time. This is different for our two undergrad versus grad programs. For undergraduates, we don't have conditional admit in the sense where it's something that the student can outwardly apply for. However, if an applicant follows the standard process and submits the scores that they have, again, that's important because if they don't submit a score, we can't give a decision. But if a student has a score that doesn't meet our minimums, then that can be a conversation between the student if they were to be admitted and the faculty if a conditional process would be allowed. But again, it's not something that's as outwardly advertised because this is on a case-by-case basis, and it's imperative that the student go through the entire process in itself and submit the scores that they have. When we have students who don't submit their scores, again, we can't make a judgment based off that. And we can't say we would guarantee that you'd be admitted with lower scores than our minimums because even for some faculty, there's a threshold on how low they might consider going. But again, it's very case by case, and we rarely go this route. But it is all the steps along the way first in order to be considered.
For graduate applicants, while we don't offer a conditional admissions, we do allow students who are recommended for admissions from the faculty until May 1st to submit a passing score. However, by waiting till that deadline, they may miss out on scholarship opportunities. A positive to if they do not have a passing score is that there is an option of the artist diploma program, which does not require an English language score. The language score is only required for master's and doctoral students.
Next, we
The
have our,
undergrad and grad application process is, oh, sorry.
oh, it's okay. Go ahead, Candace.
The undergrad and grad application process this year, I guess I'll jump into the grad. I'll let Caroline talk about undergrad. The graduate application deadline is December 1st for most programs, although for the music education program, we've extended the deadline to March 1st this year. All of the MFA degree areas will have until March 1st to apply as well. The pre-screening deadline is December 3rd.
Yep, then the same is going to be for the undergraduate programs. All of the applications are going to be due December 1st with the supplemental pre-screening due December 3rd. And each program on our website will show, when it comes to the pre-screening supplemental materials, what additionally is required for each program. And we'll kind of get into an example of that when, later we're talking about commercial music production specifically. But the first step is the student has to apply to UC. Once they apply to UC, they'll receive a follow-up email with the next steps regarding how to submit their pre-screening materials, where they can find that information specifically, as well as their user ID that they'll need to input into the accepted application. And because it is a third party, that's why it's we have these next steps outlined for students, because it's not a part of the actual main undergraduate application. And then again, so they'll submit their materials by December 3rd. Over the winter break, the faculty will review and make decisions. Either they admit from the pre-screening round, or they'll invite you to a final audition, or we're going to unfortunately deny. So, and those results will come out at the very beginning of January. And that's just our contact information. My email's at the top, Candace is in the middle. John Martin is on the bottom. He's more of student scholarships, questions like that, sometimes policies. And then the general contact information, I would suggest it's a good email to have, but it's better to reach out to Candace and I just directly, because we'll be able to kind of probably answer your questions pretty quickly. And because we've already, discussed with you all here, I think it's totally fine to just reach out to us if you have any questions. Any questions for Candace or I so far before we move on? Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jasmine Guo. I'm an assistant professor teaching at the commercial music production program, and I'll give you an overview of our program. So we focus our teaching on several different areas. We want students to graduate knowing how to write music. That's the most important thing, but they're also good musicians, so they'll get decent music trainings, just like the classical musicians here do. They get theory classes, musicianship classes, music history, specifically focused on the commercial music production side. They also get commercial music theory as well. And they also get a lot of production classes, such as desktop music production, which they learn Logic and all the virtual instruments and plugins. They learn how to record in Pro Tools. They learn how to mix. They learn orchestration, arrangements, but they also get to perform, and they get to take individual instrumental and vocal lessons. They get to participate in ensembles, so they'll perform in band, meaning like not the concert band, but a popular music band. They also get to collaborate with our student actors, student ensembles, student filmmakers. So there's lots of collaboration going on in this program. And one other thing we do ask our students to get is a minor in entrepreneurship, because we believe to be able to make it, you kind of have to start your own business to promote yourself as an artist, or to know how the whole business world works. So you understand all the copyright. If they're signing anything, they know what they're signing to. Once they graduate, we have our graduate students working as music editors at Pixar. We have students working in LA as film composers and arrangers. We have students who go on tour to sing, and we have students work in the studios, local studio, or all over the place. We have game composers. We also have students who went on to study more business. So they really go to all kinds of areas. For pre-screening, we ask for 3 writing samples. That is songwriting, or if it's film scoring, those are all great. But the most important thing is they need to have good audio quality. We need to be able to tell what the music is. We focus a lot on how good the music is, the writing. So we also ask for good-looking scores, just to make sure they're able to read music and to notate music. If it is a film score, it is recommended that you submit the film with the music, because film and music, if it has the film, it means a lot more than if we're just listening to a soundtrack. Once we listen to your pre-screening and go through all your submitted profiles, if we think CCM is a good fit for you, we'll ask you in for the audition, which we do offer the virtual audition as well. And I think that's what most students, international students, choose. If you do choose that option, please make sure the whole technical stuff like Zoom, recording, microphone setup are all working before you enter the room, because each student only gets, I think, 15 minutes to perform for us and to talk about their backgrounds. And once we spend 10 minutes on trying to figure out if the Zoom works or not, then we don't really get to hear a lot from that student. Then it's hard to make a decision based on those 5 minutes of conversation. And we do ask them to come in and perform their own music, but also if, say, the student's a really good pianist and she wishes to come in and show us this Chopin etude she can play, we encourage that. We want to see how proficient you are at your instrument, or just your general musical background, so we get a better idea. Do I have any questions? Ming is one of our really good students. No question. Let's move on to Ming.
OK，大家好，我是常明啊，是我们 CMP 大四的一个学生。然后呢，扎斯门教授已经就是把很多学校申请的内容啊，大概讲解了一遍。那么我将从就是比如说我作为一个学生的角度和以及其他方面，比如说周边的生活呀，去再给大家再深一步的了解一下，然后并且再就是过多的再讲解一下这个关于申请的事情。哦，等一下，我是不是得 share 打开我的屏幕共享？啊，OK。OK，首先就是关于这个主要内容呢，我暂时就是这几项，主要大概讲解一下关于就是这个专业呀、课程的介绍啊，以及未来的发展，以及周边学校的生活和流程等等，就是主要这些。然后，那么呢，我们为什么要选择 CMP 呢？首先呢，从我这个角度来看啊，当时他是可以告诉我说，那个首先它是以一个可以同时学习商业和音乐两种结合的一个专业，非常吸引我啊，这也是非常打动我的一个原因去选择 CMP。其次呢，它是一个全系统的一个专业学习，包含了很多现在主流的音乐技术啊、商业音乐呀，然后会教你主乐器啊，然后呢，基本的和声乐理啊、录音混音呐、词曲写作呀、电影配乐呀，还有一些商业的一些东西。 哎，为什么 PPT？哎，我怎么控制这个 PPT 呢？好问题。OK，嗯，OK，没有关系。然后呢，重点的发展方向在以后，比如说学了这些东西啊，对吧？想成为 songwriter 啊，艺术家呀，对不对？一些比如说，对吧？商业音乐的这些经纪人呐，这种东西都是可以去考虑的。然后呢，非常吸引我的一个点啊，是 CMP 每年呢向全世界招生的学生，大概在，以我所知啊，大概在12位学生左右。所以说，就是教授可以管住，以及就是面对学生的这个比例是非常好的，就是等于说你是可以非常很专注的去学习这件事情。然后呢，呀，这个 PPT，这个 PPT 确实啊，我也就是不知道它怎么控制它，还是说我需要共享我的屏幕吗？啊，没关系了，就然后对，本来想
哦，长明，
哎，
长明，你可以听到是吧？你
可以的，
你这边尝试共享一下，你看一下，
好的好的好的，
你点击一下共享看可以吗？
呃，好吧，可能有点麻烦，要不老师您配合我一下，
啊，
对，您就先调到这，对，您就对吧？我们就接着往下讲吧，就
可以，
您
你先继续，你先继续，我这边看一下。
然后呢，对，本来想给大家看一下我们这个4年的大致的一个课程，对，其实是非常丰富的，也非常多彩的，包含了所有，就是以及就是学生们、同学们就是想学习的一些课程，对的。然后呢，然后我们这个4年大致呢是从比如说大一刚开始入门啊，就会先教你一些很 basic 的东西，比如说乐理啊这些东西。然后大二，哎，对吧？我们就开始逐渐的开始实践操作了，比如说会教你一些 Studio 的应用啊，或者教你一些对吧如何去 recording 啊这些东西。然后呢，大三的时候呢，哎，我们就开始更高级的一些东西了，我们就要开始去延伸了。然后大四开始，对吧？为你的人生做计划，开始我们分专业啊，比如说你想学 OK songwriting，就可以去学 songwriting。比如说你对影视配乐很感兴趣，就去学影视配乐。所以呢，4年下来，对你未来就业啊是非常好的。比如说，你可以成为，比如说各大荧幕之后的音乐制作人啊，音乐工程师，对吧？你还有机会成为一些综艺或者音乐节现场的职业乐手。当然啊，你也可以，比如说你很有一个个人风格的独立音乐人或者歌手、艺术家，对吧？当然啦，在这里头，你也可以找一些在音乐上志同道合的朋友们，你们一块儿去玩音乐。当然也可以，就是以后去从事一些商业音乐的事情。然后呢，学校的周边以及生活其实也是非常多姿多彩的，比如说运动啊，对吧？一些娱乐设施其实也是比较多的，所以也不用太担心这些就是课余生活的这个部分。OK，申请的要求和流程，这个其实我大致再过一遍吧。就是 CMP 的本科招生程序呢，大概在8月1日开始啊，进入第2年的秋季学期。所有的申请材料呢，必须在12月1号之前必须提交哈。作品集的话，至少要提供3首原创歌曲和作品，就是任何风格都可以，最好包括这个完整的乐谱啊，然后呢歌词啊，还有和弦图，然后还有 IC 啊，介绍 音乐背景以及职业目标，然后两位推荐人的推荐信啊，最后一定要这个检查仔细，然后呢再提交到这个学校就好了。然后呢，就是非常要强调一下，我们的 audition 啊是非常重要的，就是去这个现场演唱或者演奏你的乐器。建议是自己的这个原创作品啊是非常加分的。然后建议啊，有能力的同学一定要现场弹唱，很加分。然后可以现场跟教授聊聊，对吧？你这首歌怎么做的呀？对吧？怎么混的呀？教授是很喜欢听这些，就是你去分享这些东西的。然后呢，再给各位几个小 tips，比如说作品集一定要拿出充足的时间去做准备。然后没有数量上限，你们可以多去尝试，多做几首不同风格的。我记得我当时好像是3首吧，嗯，不同风格的。然后呢，对，然后呢，在 audition 之前呢，就是可以再花费一些时间去看看学校的官网，去查阅一些信息和背景调查，这样面试的时候可能会事半功倍。然后呢，在 audition 的时候呢，一定要自信，对，即使出问题了也不要怕，微笑面对。然后，对，反正我觉得非常重要的就是跟教授多聊聊你这个作品是非常好的。好的，我的分享大概就这么多了。如果就是有任何问题，可以现在问我一下，我可以，对吧？这个作为学生的角度，去帮你们就回答一下问题。
Thanks,
嗯，
Xiaoming.
哎，
Thanks, Caroline. Thanks, Candice and Jasmine for all your support and sharing on the great content. So I think maybe there's not a lot of time for Jasmine to stay here for more sharing. So can we just start from some specific major questions asking for Jasmine, Professor? Hi, Jasmine.
Hello，
Hello. Jasmine 教授好。
您好，
有个
您好。
关于那个就是 CMP 和composition 的这个作曲的这个专业的区别，您这边可以帮忙跟我们这边家长可以再具体分享一下。
可没问题。作曲专业的话，因为我自己小时候一直是传统作曲专业，它跟我们 CMP 最大的不一样就是他们更偏传统作曲，就是呃，可能跟就是音乐制作呀，比如说后来要给歌手制作呀，或者是做电影这个离得比较远一点。就是他们更多的是实验性的作品，然后去参加比赛啊什么的。
OK，但这两个专业他们是不是也有在第一学期或者是某些初级学期开始的时候有一定的 foundation 的一些相通的课程？
可能也就是乐理课那些，
最早对，
就是所有的孩子都要上的这些课。
所以也就是说，对他们来说，如果说想后面实现一些 transition 这样的一些学科的一些跨越的话，实际上还是挺有难度的。这两
我们
个
是有学生
专业之
double
间，
major 这两个专业的，
嗯哼
对，就是
，OK，
他是双专业，然后他既上作曲那边的课，也上我们这边的课，这样子他又可以演出，然后也可以学制作，然后也可以把就是写传统音乐的那个底子打好，就是如果他对那个也还是有兴趣的话。
OK，但是这个难度会跨越比较，这个也是常问的。对，我
嗯，
们
是
的家
在读书
长学生，
期间的难度吗？
对，在图书期间的，如果是想 double major 这两个专业的话，
我觉得应该还好，因为它都是你要学习音乐，然后学习怎么去写音乐。我觉得
songwriting
这
是，
个双专业应该是很好的一
对。
个选择。
OK， 谢谢 ，Thank you Jasmine
可以问两个就是比较常规的问题吗？
您请讲。
哈。Okay. So first of all, thank you for everyone's sharing, but I just have a couple general questions. First of all, could you tell me what is the tuition fee for a bachelor's degree and master's degree for international students? And the second one, when mentioning about the language requirements, I noticed that for DMA, only piano students are listed with the minimum score requirement. Does that mean if for any other instrumentalists majoring specialization that's performance, they don't need to submit the language score, or it's the same thing?
The
I think
DMA
maybe this
piano,
is sorry
Mm,
for Caroline, yeah, to go first.
Oh, sure. For the tuition, I'm trying to look that up right now. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head.
I just put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
And that link in the chat has
And
the tuition specific to CCM.
okay.
Thanks, Emily.
Because I remember last time when I checked, I need to do the calculation myself. Then what about the language score for DMA students?
yes, the DMA, just a second, let me pull the actual score up. Typically, when the score is higher than the minimum requirements, it's due to the curriculum.
Huh. Okay, I see.
Now, there isn't the minimum for DMA piano it's only the TOEFL score. The Duolingo
Yeah.
is still 110, and that would be for masters and DMA pianist.
Yes. Which means that because on the PowerPoint earlier, under the DMA part, only piano is listed. So which means piano students requires a higher score.
Yes. So for the DMA piano, they require a TOEFL score of 90 or higher,
Uh-huh.
and the minimum is 80.
I see. Oh, okay. Okay then, thank you. I was confused when I saw the piano only. And just, sorry, one last question. Can you tell me more about the scholarships and other types of financial aids available for international students? Like,
Yeah, I can talk about that. So
thank you.
it's different for undergrads and grads. So for undergrads, there are more funding sources. I would say we have funding from the International Office, which is based off of students' GPA and test scores. We have CCM specific funding, and then we have department specific funding. So it's really two kind of buckets for undergrad where they have UC International and then CCM. And the way it works is that once a student goes through the entire process, and then we're at the point where a student has been admitted, that's when the faculty start to go through the students who have been admitted and kind of make those scholarship decisions. It can range anywhere between, you know, $500, $1,000 all the way up to full tuition. It just depends on the funding that's available in the department and how they want to spend their funding. And then I'll say that a lot of the scholarships that are offered are renewable. It just depends on their stipulations, like maintaining a GPA. For CCM, there is ushering services required per year. And then for any international UC scholarship, there is service hours attached to that as well. So that's for the undergraduate side of things. And then for the graduate side of scholarships, it's just the fund that's coming from CCM. Again, that's going to be the decisions that are made by the faculty by that specific department. So when we have commercial music production, they have their funding, opera, they have their funding, so on and so forth. And then with grad, that's kind
Carolyn,
of talking about the graduate assistantships that might be available, and things like that.
Okay.
So sorry to
Thank
interrupt
you.
everyone, but I think we may be getting kicked out of this meeting in just a few minutes, as we only had 1 hour for this meeting, and we started a little bit early. So that may happen in just a few seconds, but please reach out to us with any more questions.